Hi, I'm Magda from Interiors Exteriors. I'll show you a 42 square meter apartment in a former officer's hotel. Inside we'll find plenty of finishing elements that were made by hand, cleverly and on a budget.
Hi, I'm Kasia and I'm happy to have the pleasure of welcoming you today to my apartment, the wnetrzazewnetrza studio. The apartment was renovated a few years ago for my own needs, but over the past few years its function has changed a bit and now it serves as a guest apartment for my family and friends. Most of the time it's my studio where I meet clients and store interior accessories since I work in homestay.
Thank you. We start as usual at the entrance, and right here we have a large mirror, hooks, and also a clothing rod with hangers hidden behind the bookshelves. This place looked totally different before the renovation. There was once a door to a small bathroom here, with the kitchen entrance right beside it. However, as you can see, these walls have now been removed, even though there are pipes here and here. The pipes were simply covered up, they were boxed in. That didn't prevent the wall from being removed. Instead, an interesting structure with shelves was created. Here at the back, there's an openwork metal wall that was simply bought at a hardware store and bent on site, and the whole shelving unit was made by hand. Although gas isn't used in this apartment, the pipe obviously had to stay because it supplies gas to the neighbors. The valve, on the other hand, was hidden with a hat. You could also hide it in a cabinet, but why bother when there are simpler ways? The recess located in this spot has been built in. At the bottom, a shoe cabinet was made. Above it, there's a shelf, and above that, there's also a fuse box. And notice that the walls, shelves, and the box are all the same color. Thanks to this, they create a background for beautiful decorations. The doors in this apartment were ordered from a local manufacturer. And that's why they managed to arrange for the door frame to the bathroom to extend all the way to the ceiling, which creates a much more interesting visual effect. Maybe you can't see it from your perspective, but when I stand by the sink, I have the impression that it's standing on the cabinet underneath. But that's not the case. The sink is attached to the wall, and the cabinet is simply standing underneath it. And here in the drawer, in the bottom of the drawer, a hole was cut out so the drawer wouldn't collide with the pipe. And on both sides of it, organizers were placed so that small items wouldn't fall into that hole. There's a fabric accordion-style curtain on the window, which is usually pulled down to provide privacy in the bathroom. However, of course, you can also fold it up and secure it with these special clips. There's also a linen curtain by the window here, which is a shower curtain. And here on the window, it has found its second life. I think linen curtains, shower curtains, are a great alternative to plastic, and they're also very pleasant to the touch. Behind this wall is the kitchen, but as you can see, the wall doesn't go all the way to the end. There's a recess here. Thanks to this, it was possible to hide the washing machine in the bathroom and have more shelves for storage. In the kitchen, there was no need for a corner cabinet. Before the renovation, the kitchen was L-shaped, surrounding the dark bathroom. And that's why the kitchen area was here by the window. Beneath the windowsill was a cold cupboard, used instead of refrigerators before the war. And the cupboard is still in use now. The doors have been replaced, and inside there's space for cleaning supplies. Bathtub drying racks were once popular. Those were rods on strings that you could pull up to the ceiling or lower when you needed to hang or collect the laundry. Now I rarely see them. The truth is, in small apartments, it's often more convenient to hang the laundry in the bathroom than in the living room or bedroom. There's definitely a lot of space above the bathtub that you can use, as long as the bathroom ventilation allows it. And here we have an example of that. A folding accordion-style drying rack like this one, which you can unfold and conveniently hang your laundry on right in the bathroom. In the living room and bedroom, the original parquet flooring was preserved. However, since the floor had been flooded and sanding wouldn't have evened out the color of the boards, it was painted white with a special floor paint. The window sills are also original, but at first they were covered with many layers of oil paint. which was removed, and the wooden window sills were protected with whitewashed wax. The kitchen cabinets are from IKEA, except for the fronts, which were ordered from DNU Front. And look, we have as many as 4 different patterns at the bottom. It doesn't stand out that there's so much variety, because all the fronts are the same color, but thanks to these different patterns, they look much more interesting. At the top, above the countertop, we have another interesting solution, which is the absence of tiles or any glass. The wall has only been protected with varnish. The last cabinet in the upper unit is 45 cm, just like the dishwasher below. However, there was no front for the upper cabinets in this size, so Kasia decided to make an insert like this. She ordered plywood cut to size and veneered, and then simply assembled the cabinet by nailing the shelves together. And she put this whole element into the built-in cabinet body, and now, if we want to change the arrangement, we can just slide it out. Of course, it holds well because it's perfectly fitted here, but it's not glued in any way, so making changes is easy. On this side, we also have a built-in refrigerator. It's not in a cabinet like refrigerators are usually built into kitchens, but there's a furniture board here, also covered with veneer, that hides the side of the refrigerator. And it creates an elegant shelf on top, which also makes this corner of the kitchen look much nicer. The round wooden table from Grandma had a heavily damaged top, so it was restored and covered with dark wax, which does a good job of hiding the discolorations that appeared here. Now they're not visible at all. However, despite many years, the table's mechanism works very well. It's an extendable table. There are hooks on the side here, which, when unfastened, allow us to slide both halves apart and take out an extra tabletop from the middle, making the table bigger when we have more guests. When I'm sitting comfortably on the couch and want to put down a cup or a glass, I have to get up to reach the coffee table. That's why a simple little shelf like this is a nice solution where I can put something down without having to move from my spot.
There's a lot of art in the apartment, and that's because my friend and life partner Robert Serbowski is a conceptual artist. Above the couch, that colorful painting is one of the paintings from an entire series of fractal paintings. The shoreline on the wall next to it, his bas-relief, and in the bedroom above the desk, a painting that was created as part of the Identity series, created from pixels.
In the bedroom, of course, the main role is played by a large bed, behind which there is a wooden headboard that was made from the leftover top of an old table. Against this wall there are 3 large wardrobes, 60x100 cm, and most of them are simply used as storage for home staging accessories for styling apartments. Because contrary to what some people think, it's not like you buy the cheapest accessories and decorations for home staging and use the same ones every time, and then those things end up in the trash. Good home stagers have their own storage and use really beautiful, timeless pieces. In this old desk, the drawers originally opened with a key, but Kasia added handles to cover the keyholes, and now we can open the drawers without worrying about what will happen if we lose the key. The insides of the drawers were painted in different colors, and the tabletop was replaced. Now it's a furniture board covered with veneer, which matches the color and style of this interior much better. That's all for this video, but you can find more interior design inspiration in our book, Polski Wnętrza, which you can buy, among other places, in our store at wnetrzazewnetrza.pl, where you'll also find house-themed jewelry, which I'm wearing right now. I'm looking forward to your likes and comments. I hope you're already subscribed to the channel and following us on Instagram or TikTok. See you next time. Bye-bye.